The AI tool I'm about to share with you feels like pure sorcery. And in just a few seconds, I'm going to give you my #1 tip to making the most of the credits you get with a free account. But first, is anyone else here a Star Trek nerd? On that sci-fi show, there's a futuristic tool as common in that fictional reality as refrigerators are to us here in the real world. These machines are called replicators, and the characters simply ask for what they want, and food, tools, art, you name it, materializes seemingly out of thin air. Now, imagine a replicator that creates, instead of material or physical things, it creates software, apps, games, websites, and landing pages with nothing more than a simple text prompt. That's what Lovable.dev does. Your imagination is truly the limit. No coding skills necessary. And stick with me till the end because I always save my favorite part for last, and the last prompt I gave Lovable was definitely the most fun. And yes, my creative friends, like I said, this tool does currently have a free plan that gives you 5 daily messages. But before you get as excited as I did and run over to start prompting away in a fun-filled frenzy, hold on a sec. Those credits will go fast unless you do this first. Head on over to your favorite chatbot. I recommend ChatGPT or Claude. You can use either of those for free. To make the most of my 5 messages for today, I spent some time brainstorming and planning my prompts in ChatGPT. I had an idea for an AI co-writer that I thought could be fun. So I rambled into ChatGPT, as you can see on the screen, and I asked it to make my idea into a more concise prompt I could use to create a web app on Lovable. The first iteration it gave me was pretty decent, but then I realized it could use a little tweak to make it even more powerful. So I told it to make sure the character is given a motivation and a flaw to drive their actions, and then I asked it to edit the prompt to incorporate this change. And there you have it. I think this is a good starting point. Since many of you are storytellers too, I've got a few more ideas for writers and content creators that we'll cover next. So stay tuned to see how versatile this app really is. But for idea #1, we'll start with this AI writing partner app. So all I've got to do is copy the outline ChatGPT made me down here and paste it into Lovable. One thing to note, on the free plan, you can't make your creations private. So if you're trying to design something to sell or something that contains confidential information, you'll probably want to go with a paid plan so that you can keep your work to yourself. There, that's it. My part is done. Now, everything you see happening right now is being generated by AI. I am not a coder. I have no coding knowledge at all whatsoever. I'm literally creating a prototype for a web app for storytellers with nothing but an idea. Wow, and there it is. Not bad for one prompt, right? Let's test this out. I think I'll start with fantasy. Why not, right? So I think I would prefer it if there were options to generate info into these fields, but for now, let's just see how this works. I'm speeding through some random character info just to test this app out. Okay, cool. Let's see if I can collaborate with my new AI writing partner. So I'm not sure what I'd have to do to actually connect AI to this app because this is placeholder text here. And I definitely want to make some tweaks to the writing style. But for a few seconds of work on my part, I'm pretty impressed with how much we got. This is a great starting point. And I can just continue to chat with Lovable down here if I wanted to refine this idea further. You can even add your own images here, and what does this select button do? Let's see. Oh, looks like you can select which part of the app you want to edit with your prompt. Cool. Maybe we'll come back to this later, but for now, I want to try out a few other use cases for content creators. #2, for instance, what if I wanted to create a website for my YouTube channel? I asked ChatGPT to write my prompt since it already knows quite a lot about this channel. So I'm going to see what Lovable can do with this. Okay, so it took about 30 seconds to get going, but again, I'm not writing any of this. I'm just scrolling to the bottom of the code that Lovable is generating for my website. Ha! I love how the button is bouncing. It used blues and purples just like we asked. And all the info we asked for is here. And even though I imagined each section would be on separate pages, I think I like this mobile-friendly continuous scroll design much better. Okay, you ready for idea number 3? If any of you out there have books, courses, products, or services you're selling, you're going to love this next one. I've got this book on narrating audiobooks, and with a landing page, I could probably make a lot more sales. So I'll just ask ChatGPT to make the prompt for me by giving it a link to my Amazon description. Oh, I was using the O1 mini version of ChatGPT, which doesn't have access to the internet apparently. So it gave me a template for a landing page rather than creating one for me. So I'm just going to change over to ChatGPT 4.0 and ask it to visit my book's Amazon page to learn more and fill in the details for me. There we go. That's more like it. Let's see how Lovable does with this. Just like the website, Lovable got started really fast. And that looks decent. I'd definitely want to change this photo though. So let's try out this selection tool. Select the image, and then I'll just upload the book cover and ask Lovable to replace this image with what I uploaded. There we go, perfect. So as a writer, I know that for me, the most annoying part of the writing process is having to go back and check my scenes to stay consistent. What color did I make those drapes? What was that character wearing again? But what if I could design a 3D setting I could visit in virtual reality, or at least a 3D rendering I can explore on a laptop since I don't actually have any kind of virtual interface to test this out on. But yeah, an explorable setting with customizable characters would be amazing. And that's the 4th idea we're going to test. Many authors, myself included, already use AI to create references for characters and scenes, but I think I would love the experience of being able to have a 3D reference I could eventually visit virtually while I'm writing. Not to mention the time it would save not having to go back through the entire book to get description reminders. And I gotta give ChatGPT credit for this one. I actually asked for a list of app ideas that storytellers would love, and this was my favorite idea from that list. This will also be a good test to see how creative Lovable can get when we give it a shorter prompt. Okay, so it looks like we got an error. Honestly though, I've tried other apps like this before and always gotten error after error after error. But I've now tried out several ideas on Lovable, and this is the first time I'm ever seeing any kind of error. Okay, let's try to fix it by clicking up here. Okay, well it says it's fixed. Let's see. It's interesting that we can zoom into this forest. But can we create our own settings? I'm just typing up a quick description. Oh, looks like we can save the description, but that's it. So obviously this app still needs a lot of work, but that was definitely a good try. And the good news is that this is public. Like I said, I'm on the free plan. So if any of you out there want to play with any of the things I'm creating, you're free to visit my profile and copy the code to pick up where I left off. I'll leave a link to my Lovable profile in the description below. Okay, let's have a little fun with idea number 5, shall we? Because what's a life of all work and no play? And even if you love your job, you still need a break every once in a while. So you remember that classic snake game? Let's create something similar to the snake game, but instead of a snake, this is going to be a bookworm, and each book it eats will be different colors that each represent a different genre, and those genres will have special abilities. So again, I rambled out my idea to ChatGPT so that it could make me a concise outline for a prompt that I can use in Lovable. And I love that it added 2 more books here. So sci-fi would be silver and gives you temporary invincibility, and horror reverses the controls. Oh, I could see that really messing me up. Okay, I'm gonna copy and paste this right into Lovable, and then I'm just gonna edit out this optional part, and then I'll take out the bits where ChatGPT was talking to me at the top and bottom of the prompt. I got a little nervous that I asked for too much because it did take several minutes to start the code writing process. But I could see this dot pulsing over here, so I just paused the recording until something started happening again. So I missed the first few seconds, but here you can see Lovable is creating our bookworm game. And once it got going, it went pretty fast. Here we go. Let's try it out. It's been a while since I played Snake. I'm already dead. Okay, I got it now. It's going a bit fast, but that's all right. Well, that definitely got me feeling nostalgic. There are a few things that aren't really working the way I specified in the prompt, so it's not perfect. But again, for a few minutes of work, these results are blowing me away. Are you as impressed as I am? You've got to give Lovable a try. And of course, the link is in the description below. How will you use Lovable? Definitely let me know in the comments below. And if you liked this video, YouTube thinks you might like this one too. Check it out. And if you want to learn more about awesome AI tools to level up your storytelling skills, don't forget to subscribe.